My name is Mark Poulton. I'm a buy and hold real estate investor in the greater Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I wanted to explain how you're going to have some Limp Bizkit days. And, I'm definitely living that. Limp Bizkit has a song, and you may not know it. They're kind of a cheesy band, but they have a song called It's Just One of Those Days. And it's all about the he said, she said BS. And I can tell you that in this business, if you're going to have those days. You're going to have those weeks. I've had those years, where things just don't seem to go right. They don't seem to go well. I can tell you that almost 100% of that comes from ignorance online, not really understanding processes, not really understanding how the county works, how the city works, how, the state law works. And, it's certainly a situation where I can understand why people would not want to do this business. Certainly not the way that I do it. Listen, if you have unlimited funds, $5 million, I would highly suggest just going to like Morris Invest, buying $5 million worth of properties from them. And basically it's a hands-off approach. They'll take care of everything. They find homes like I find. And, their crews come in and fix them up. For the most part, I come in and fix them up and sub out the stuff that I can't do, mostly trade work. And we don't buy retail. We really don't buy wholesale. We buy distressed sale, where a home's been empty for 10 years. It's maybe going to go through tax foreclosure, or somebody died and never went through probate. These are the homes that I like, where we can work with a wholesaler, or I've identified a few myself. We just bought a duplex that had been fire damaged. Apparently had been empty for several years because we can't get the electricity turned on. These are things that you learn as you go through the process. But, they're very frustrating because I need electricity. I need to be able to rehab this home. Winter's coming and it's going to be cold. And I hate working in the absolute cold, but that's what's going to happen in our duplex, because I can't get power turned on without having the county come and inspect the electrical work. We're not going to get that done probably until we get the heating and air done, which is close to some of the last stuff that we do. So we're running off of generators, which I don't have. I actually borrowed one from a tenant. He's behind on his rent, so I don't feel too bad. Offered to rent it from him, but I think he's a good guy. I digress. But most of the homes we buy are not, they're not a traditional sale. It's not hey, I put this on the MLS. I'm going to use realtors. Oftentimes we don't even use lawyers anymore. So many times it's been empty for 10 years. The home has been neglected. We have one where a man overdosed in it. And that really threw the title into... it's a piece of work. That's all I can say about this particular title. These homes typically have high levels of negative energy, and they've been looted, they've been stolen. Anything worth of value has been taken out of it. Copper wiring, air conditioning, hot water. Everything's been stripped, and they're just sitting there bare, full of fleas and garbage. And we'll come in, and over the last few years of rehabbing homes like this, I'm a firm believer that, negative energy persists. And it takes, and these homes fight us. I'm trying to clean them out. I'm trying to make them into beautiful homes where, families can have roots, where families can have, hopefully find peace and joy and love and have good times. But these homes, they're just full of negative energy. My wife and I have gotten to the point where we start to bless homes to try to dispel some of this negative energy, so that hopefully we can, they won't fight us so hard. Well, this particular home that that I'm working on, it's fighting us pretty hard. We haven't even started the rehab, but right now we have code enforcement kind of being jerks a little bit. I've had to. Because of this home, I've actually had to read the minimum housing code in Charlotte, and it's actually not that bad. It's an easy read if you're kind of understanding the legalese, and it's not too bad in the legalese department. But we're having a disagreement with the head of code enforcement, who just changed. I had a relationship with the old head. So basically the minimum housing code, which is not that much, basically says that walls and ceilings have to be clean and sanitary. There is a definition section, and clean and sanitary is not in that definition section. So it is subject to interpretation, but the new head of code enforcement is telling me now that it has to be move-in ready, which is not in the definition section. And I bet you my definition of move-in ready is very different than her definition of move-in ready. And that's fine. It will be one day move-in ready. This home was smoked in for who knows how long. I mean, the nicotine stains are unreal. But, you know, I put Kills 3 on there, and it's not covering up the walls. But it's really hard for someone to sit there and say, you know, 2 coats of primer isn't clean and sanitary. It's unsightly, but it's not clean. I find it difficult to say that it's not clean and sanitary. Also, you know, it doesn't say anything about paint anywhere in there except in the windows section where it says, you know, if painted, there will not be excessive cracking or peeling. So, you know, nowhere in the code does it say, hey, listen, these walls have to be painted. You know, this is my first foray at plaster walls, which is more like a rock than anything else. And I used a product called Grease Lightning, which is an industrial degreaser and cleaner. And it may not be pretty, but I think it's clean and sanitary. But, you know, probably going to lose this. In fact, I'm losing this battle. Doesn't mean you stop. You know, I'm in tax foreclosure on this particular property as well. Knew that was coming, not a big deal. Except I mailed out the property taxes for the last 9 years. It was 9 checks totaling about $19,000, along with something to the South Carolina Department of Revenue. I mailed them out at a different post office than I normally do. It was up near this home, and neither one of them ever made it. It's been about 2.5 weeks. So I had to take a trip down to the town below mine in South Carolina to pay to see the South Carolina Department of Revenue and pay them before they get nasty with me. Very nice people, unbelievable. Wish the IRS could be that way. So, you know, almost wanted to cry. I'm not a wuss, but you know, it's days and weeks like this that you know, makes me want to start drinking. It's about 9:20 in the morning, 9:42 in the morning. Makes me want to go to the bar and start drinking now. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because, you know, I'm kind of concerned about this. And, you know, I went over the minimum housing code again, read more of it. This time I wanted to know more about heating than anything else. So, you know, to some degree, you're not going to be able to, most degree, you're not going to be able to control what's going on. And, you know, when I start to get frustrated and stuff like this, you know, I have to give it to God and just say, hey, listen, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be able to solve this. I'm going to have faith and trust that you're going to make this work. And it always works out. It doesn't necessarily work out the way that I think it should, but it always works out. Anyways, these are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments section below. Are you a Limp Bizkit investor? Do you have, it's just one of those days or just one of those weeks? Anyways, I wish you success.